Hi there, this is Mrs. Harris. You should have a homework packet note sheet. Start taking notes. The note sheet is due. October 8th on a Tuesday. You're going to turn that in, and that will be a grade to prove that you watched this video. So we're going to talk about how to determine between a fact, a prediction, and a conclusion and an inference. Okay, so let's go. So here we have a warm-up activity. Linus is watching a leaf fall in the first couple of pictures. And in the third picture, he's watching a leaf land in the ground, and he says, nobody's happy where they are. He sighs and says, nobody's happy where they are. Okay, so we have 1, 2, and 3. Which one's a conclusion or inference? Which one's a prediction, which is a fact? Linus sees the leaves falling from the trees. 1. 2. Linus will pack his bags, run away from home. 2. Linus does not say the leaf is unhappy. He says nobody's happy where they are, which means he is not happy where he is. Linus feels like an outsider, isolated from various communities. Linus is a negative person. Instead of being excited about the changing of seasons, Linus believes the leaf is unhappy in the tree. You know, clearly you could probably get what A, B, and C is, but the question is why. So the why is what the video is for. KISS, keywords infer support. How to use KISS. Underline keywords, make inferences based on the keywords, use your background information or text story to support your answers. So look for important words. What do those important words tell you? Why are they important? And then prove it. A keyword is a word that gives importance to the scene. It helps us understand the conflict, the character, or other elements of the bigger picture. Keywords help us connect what we know to what the author is trying to tell us indirectly. It's between the lines. It's not stated. You have to infer it. You have to read between the lines. What are they trying to tell you indirectly? So in Night by Elie Wiesel, he says, I do not deny God's existence, but I doubted his absolute justice. Keywords will be existence, doubt is justice. So each of these words has a meaning and purpose. So they help us understand what the character is experiencing. So doubt tells us how he's feeling, gives us insight into his feelings. He doubts there's justice. He is disappointed. He doubts that things are to go his way. He believes in God, but he doubts things will go his way. The contrasting words help us see his conflict. Yes, he knows there's a God, but the conflict is he doesn't see the justice. So he feels conflicted. And now that he doubts justice, we can now infer that maybe he'll act differently. He's not going to wait for justice to happen. He believes in God, but he knows he's got to take some matters into his own hands. Possibly that's an inference. So we looked at the keywords. We looked at, I felt their existence, doubt is justice, and I made an inference, not to go back to the text to prove it. With inferences, you understand why the character is behaving the way he is and the real meaning behind his words and actions. So an inference is when you connect what you read to what you think to make an educated guess about the reading. The inference comes from your head, not the text, but it starts with the text and then goes to your head, and then you support it with either the text or personal information. So what do you do when making an inference? You use keywords from the text in order to come up with an idea that's from your head. And these other ideas are listed below. So it could be, the inference could be a character's emotions. Why is that character feeling this way? The reason or the why character is feeling. The meaning of the event. Why is it important? The moral, the theme of the story. What should you, the reader, be reading along with the character? And the purpose. What's the author's purpose in the story? Later in the story. Okay, so I alluded to support earlier. So you looked at the keywords, you made an inference, and then the inference came from your head. You derived it by looking at keywords, and you made an inference from your head. And now I have to make sure that this is logical and it's actually supported by evidence from the text or your personal experiences. So basically, support is proving what you inferred. Drawing conclusions. You need to figure out information based on what the author wants you to know when this author does not state it directly. So drawing conclusions is not retelling facts. It's not making up information that's illogical. You need information in the passage to back up what you said. Tom raised his head skyward. A gentle breeze flew through his hair. He realized he would have to put on sunscreen before walking to the park. None of these are conclusions. Tom was from Florida. There's no proof, support. He could be from Arizona. Tom's taking a walk. That's stated in the text. It cannot be a conclusion. It is windy. Again, stated in the text. It is about to rain. It makes no sense. There's sunscreen. Like inferences, conclusions come from your head, not the text. You look at the text to get a start, but then you fill in what the author's not telling you. You make that conclusion. That's from your head, not the text. From that sentence, you see up here are some examples of conclusions. The sun is out. The sun is shining. Okay, there's sunscreen. An inference. It is spring or summer. You need sunscreen. Tom gets sunburned easily. Okay, he's not going to the pool for 3 hours. He's taking a walk. He must get sunburned easily. The sunscreen also helps us figure this out. And Tom was either standing outside or poking his head through a window or door because he knew there was a gentle breeze, but he had not gone on his walk yet. Steps to drawing conclusions are similar to drawing inferences. Look for facts in the text, not opinion. As you read, identify information that reveals information implied in the text or story but is left out. Make sure the conclusion is logical. It has to be supported from the text. It's got to be logical. Okay, we're going to apply. We just learned from the to the following song. So let's. Unfortunately, I can't even listen to the song sung on YouTube. But I gave you the link if you want to do that on your own. Here we go. Hello, Mudda. Hello, Fada. Here I am at Camp Granada. Camp is very entertaining, and they say we'll have some fun if it stops raining. I went hiking with Joe Spivey. He developed poison ivy. You remember Leonard Skinner. He got ptomaine poisoning last night after dinner. All the counselors hate the waiters, and the lake has alligators. And the head coach wants no sissies, so he reads to us from something called Ulysses. Now, I don't want this, should scare ya, but my bunkmate has malaria. You remember Jeffrey Hardy. They're about to organize a searching party. Take me home, oh mudda fada. Take me home, I hate Granada. Don't leave me out in the forest, where I might get eaten by a bear. Take me home. I promise I will not make noise or mess the house with other boys. Oh, please don't make me stay. I've been here one whole day. Okay, here are the questions. Okay, again, if you want that sung properly, you have to go to the website I posted. Okay, you should have a packet in front of you. I said that in the beginning of the presentation. Answer these questions in the packet in the following manner. If the statement is either inference or conclusion, it's true. Again, if the statement is a logical inference or a conclusion, it is true. False means the statement is not a logical conclusion, or it's not a logical inference, or it's not a conclusion or an inference at all. 1, it's a fact, or 2, it's just a prediction. Again, true, it's a logical inference, a logical conclusion. False, it's not logical, it cannot be supported with the text, or it's a fact, or it's a prediction. Okay, if it's true, go back to the passage, underline proof, and label the question for that part of the passage that supports that question. So number 1, if that's true, go back to the passage and underline proof that number 1 is a logical inference or conclusion. If number 1 is not an inference or a conclusion, don't do anything. Don't label it. Number 2, if number 2 is a logical inference or conclusion, go back to the passage, underline the proof, your supports, and then label that number 2. If number 2 is not a logical inference or conclusion, leave it alone. I think you're getting it. So for every question I read, it's either true or false. You can pause this and continue. If it's true, find the proof in the passage. If it's false, nothing you need to do. Here we go. The narrator is a camper, number 1. Again, pause when you need to. 2, the camper is having a great time in the beginning of the song. 3, the camper is running home to complain he is bored. 4, the camper knows how to make a bad situation positive. 5, the camper sees the glass as half empty, not half full. And again, If you found any of these were inferences and conclusions, you should have gone back and labeled it in the passage and underline it in the passage and label that number. So we did 1 through 5. We're moving on to 6 to 10. 6, the camper's parents are on their way to pick their son up. 7, the camper is most likely an impatient person. And 8, I'm going to change it a bit. The camper complains to his parents often. 9, the camper, while at home, is not quiet and well behaved. And 10, the camper exaggerates, is dramatic. Okay, that is the end of this video. I hope you took notes. I hope you have your note sheet to show me in class Tuesday, October 8th. And again, that's for points. This is Mrs. Harris. I will see you in class. Bye-bye.